Has anyone ever said to you, let me sleep on it? That's an actual thing that's happening in your brain when you sleep to help you decide and come up with answers or solutions to problems that maybe you can't figure out when you're awake. And it usually happens during something called the REM sleep cycle, which stands for rapid eye movement. It's when we're sleeping, our eyes are closed, and our eyes are kind of moving rapidly side to side. And what's going on there is the brain is working. It's integrating all the information that it has intaked throughout the day, all the experiences that are going on, and problem solving, and sort of like a busy clerk shelving away everything in its right place in a folder. But what happens when we experience trauma is that it's a bit harder for the brain to do that. So the files kind of get scattered everywhere and the drawer won't close. And we wake up and nothing feels resolved. It's still there. You're still thinking about it. It hasn't been processed. And that's normal when we experience trauma because it's very jarring. It doesn't fit into our lived experience. It stands out and it starts to taint all the other experiences that we have. And what could be even worse than that is it affects how we think about ourselves. And that's where sort of negative thinking and beliefs, self-beliefs come in that can really impede us from moving forward and healing from that trauma. So this is where EMDR comes in. It taps into that eye movement process that happens when we're sleeping, but while you're awake. The therapist takes you through a different process that allows you to bring that memory to the working memory from the subconscious to the consciousness so that your brain can do what it usually would do if it wasn't so traumatic and jarring for it. Bringing you through that moment and degrading that memory so it's not so negative. It just becomes a thing that happened. It no longer means that you're a bad person or that you're not good enough or that you're not worthy of good things. It just becomes, this is something that happened in my life. I can now integrate into my overall experience and I can now move forward. So when you're doing EMDR therapy, just think of it as your brain doing the work while you're awake instead of asleep. If you'd like to know more about EMDR therapy and how it could perhaps help you with healing from trauma and moving on from negative self-beliefs, please contact me. I'm Gina at Centered Self.